Jesus Christ, I needed to take a phone call. But yes, hi. Oh, that's gonna be so weird for the fucking editing for this. But yes, hi, welcome to the Manga not Manga Cavalcade. Well, this is the Manga Cavalcade. Yes, it'll be uploaded as such. But I haven't really, I haven't really went and talked about a lot recently. Is that the way to... No, I haven't uploaded recently. God. I haven't uploaded recently for the Manga Cavalcade. I've just been super busy trying to put out other content and other stuff like that. It's been hectic, and my whole schedule has been completely fucked because I'm fucking lazy as shit. But we are trying to keep on track as best we can. As best as we could fucking put out. And today, I thought we'd start with a little bit of an easy one. We're doing not easy one, but a short one, right? We're doing a nice little slow. Is that the right word? I don't want to call this slow. I don't want to call it slow. Slow feels bad. This, it's not a big manga. Because it's a new manga. When I talk about new manga, which I want to get in the pattern of talking about new manga at least once a month, and then returning to old manga that we've reviewed that I'd like to continue once a month. So obviously by the end of the month, we should be, or at least by the end of this month, we should be talking about JJK Modulo, which there's a lot to talk about with that. That's going to just need its own stream. But today, I thought we'd talk about Gonron Egg, as you can see on the stream, right, you can see where you're next to you. Gonron Egg is a very... What do I say? I have certain feelings when it comes to Gonron Egg and how it's not perceived, but how it's necessarily it holds itself. So the whole premise when it comes to Gonron Egg, right, is that the world of humanity was taken over by what they're called like Drake arcs or something like that. I thought it was Draken arcs, but it's not that. It's like a weird pronunciation for it. But it's a thing of Drake arcs where they go and they take over the humanity. Like they come up from wherever the fuck they come from, and they take over and enslave humanity. And there's a slave named Gonron. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I'm gonna say Gonron. Gonron seems right. Gonron is a slave that is under the captivity of these like weird Eldritch looking beings that have just been using humanity as like fodder or food or just fucking with them. Like it's a whole fucking thing, right? And so Gonron has he has that indomitable human spirit within him. And he eventually ends up finding an egg, and a Draken egg that is named, I forget, but he is the prince of the Draken Arc kingdom that was taken over by a different Draken Arc, and now the current king killed the previous king, which is his father. There's a lot of fucking ground to uncover, but yes, the current king ended up killing the new king. No, the current king ended up killing the old king, and now that's why all the Drake Arcs have taken over humanity. So the prince wants to dethrone the current king to take back his father's position, and make himself king, so that he could bring peace and tranquility and all that back to the land of like humanity versus Drake Arcs, right? And so, like, they get into some tussles, they get into some fights. We genuinely see Gonron die, and it's just like, Gonron's dead. I'll go. Also, I apologize. You're gonna hear me go back from Gonron to Gonron. I'm only realizing how his name is spelled, so I apologize deeply for that fact. But yes, Gonron, like, we just see him die, and he only is brought back because of the egg. I forgot what the fucking egg's name is. He has a name. I completely forgot. But they end up going across the land and taking care of like other Drake Arcs in order to get their hearts, which Gonron can eat in order to become stronger and become like more of a Drake Arc and stuff like that. Because the more eggs that you eat, or the more hearts of Drake Arcs that you eat, the more you like slowly become a Drake Arc. You become like a weird hybrid fusion that we see later on from humanity. the human resist. It's like a human resistance group, right? Who are trying to fight against the Dracarchs. Who Gonron ends up meeting up with in order to like help with everything and try to go ahead and I don't know how you explain it, but he's going to like he is going to try to fight back, bring back the prince, because they're chill like that now. They're like locked in because their buddies are shit. And so at least at the time of the manga, which the reason why I want to do here, because it was a good stopping point at the very least, is that he is taken in by the human resistance group. He's like tested to make sure like that's the actual prince, and like it gets confirmed because the leader of the human resistance was someone who actually knew the previous king has been alive for like not hundreds of years, but alive long enough to know who the previous prince was. So she confirms that yes, this is actually the old king's son, and I'm surprised that he's still alive. And so they go to get like assistance from him and stuff like that, and they train for 3 years, which part of I have issues with this manga, but they did do like a 3-year time skip, which you could have milked the time skip a little bit, but they just go straight into that because I think there's also like an invasion that's about to happen against like them, even though they were gonna do an invasion against like the current like Dracarch Empire. And so like they're getting prepared for battle, and like at least where I am in the manga, which I think is chapter 14, we are left with the human resistance front like 3 years later, getting prepared and getting ready in order to try to fight back for the land. Now I want to start with positives because I feel like I have a little bit of negatives for this, but I do want to start with some positives. One, I do actually like Gonron as a character. I like his personality. I like that he is kind of like super basic. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no, is my streaming service off? Hold on, I gotta check something. Oh, please tell me it's still live. Okay, no, we're still live. Okay, we're still live. We're still live. We're still live. We're still good. It's A-okay. We are fine. We are good. We are dandy. I'm happy. Okay. Anyways, I just needed to check that real quick. But basically, I like Gonron. I like Gonron, and I like the pairing that he has with the Egg Prince. They have a really nice person. They have a really nice like dynamic, and I appreciate that for the both of them, right? I do like the art style. It's simple. It feels like, I didn't confirm that, but the art style to me feels very Seven Deadly Sins like, which, I do like this art style for Seven Deadly Sins. It looks really good. It looks really nice. And I do appreciate, I will say, this, despite it feeling lighthearted, it does give off a very dark and eerie vibe. The Dracarchs are actually fucking well designed. Well fucking designed. Love the monster look. Love how it looks. Love the beast look behind all of them. It is genuinely fucking great looking the way they are. I love how they look. They're fucking great. They're fucking awesome. They're fucking... I'm cussing so goddamn much. But they genuinely look really cool. Like, I would look at some of these things and I would think that they're genuinely horrifying. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to think positively about this, because everything I'm sitting here thinking about when it comes to the story isn't necessarily too positive. I feel bad. I feel really bad, because like I feel like this story went like kind of fast with itself. This feels like this will be a shorter series, maybe, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get through a bunch of these, like, this feels like we're going to get through a bunch of stuff. Like, it already feels like we're somewhat nearing the end of things. And it's weird, because usually I feel like there are certain anime or certain mangas where, like, even if you do that time skip stuff, it won't feel like that, or it feels like we're at like a good pace where you still need to either go up the ladder of villains, or there's still like a lot of the land that you need to explore. But it feels like for this, we just kind of sped run stuff, where we're just like, oh yeah, let's just go and just keep going and not really bother with much. And on one hand, I kind of get it. Like, sometimes if you don't really have much to tell about your story, that's fine. But like, I feel like it was doing pretty okay at first, because there was a good portion of the first couple of chapters, past chapter 1, which was a big chunky part, where Gonron was just trying to off different Drake arcs, and that was like fine. I was having fun with that. There was like a good little pattern and stuff that we were seeing, and I think up until he met the Liberation Front, that was good. Like, again, it still felt kind of fast, but I was still like overall enjoying myself. I was still overall having fun. I didn't like hate it. I didn't like despise it or anything. But then it still felt fast, but it felt like we were just kind of just going through the motions. It was the fast of just like, listen, we just need to get through some of the like tutorial, I need to explain to you how stuff works bullshit, then we can get to the like meat and bones of the story, which I thought the Human Liberation Army was going to be that. And so like we get the chance to meet some people, we get a chance to like see some certain dynamics with like the generals and the leader and the two cadets or two like foot soldiers that are Gonron and the Egg meet out in the field after they face the Drake arc that knows Gonron, which that was good. I think the last Drake arc that they fight before going to the Human Liberation Army was probably the best one, mainly because A, they had the connection with the Egg Prince, which was really cool, and B, that one just got time to breathe a lot. Everyone just felt like each one of them just felt like they were getting thrashed for no reason, which felt kind of cheap. But then also we got stuff that also felt like it was just trying to go too fast on itself. Like, it felt like he was getting too powerful. It felt like he was like already too strong, and it didn't feel deserved because it wasn't like immediate. That was like my main problem with it. Like, nothing felt super immediate. Nothing felt super like, I guess, deserved, because we didn't really build up to it. Gonron genuinely just died, came back to life because of the Egg, came back and was now strong enough to start going against Drake arcs, which I would at least have appreciated some build up towards it, some slow progression of sorts to actually see the development of things, which it would have been nice to just have that for a little bit. I feel like it's okay. Like, you could have done that with just like the previous ones, right? Of just like going foot by foot, or not foot by foot, but going step by step with just, you know, seeing Gonron struggle, seeing him how like the like new powers of the Drake arc that he has through the Egg is now affecting him, and how it might be changing him, because we do see that like Drake arc powers do change people, because we haven't really seen it. Now, to be fair, the two people that we have seen that have changed them completely have been like the 1 foot soldier that ate like 50, and then the like one of the head leaders of the Human Liberation Army that ate like 100. So there's a potential that like 3 doesn't really actually do anything to you, but also he's also being affected by the Egg, so I would feel like something would do that to him if you're gonna go ahead and do that. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not 100% sure. The anime hasn't really explored how the power system works that well yet, and while it's fairly simple, there's still like very huge gaps that I would have liked to I don't know, explore, maybe touched on something like that. I'm not 100% fully I'm not 100% fully locked in on that personally, or like just very like stuck on that, I guess. That was just me. But like, I don't know, it's one thing. I think this manga is just going too fast, and I think there is something here. Like, we're getting like a good like foundation and good stuff with the power system and the way that it operates certain things and the way that it does like certain aspects. Like, there's there's good avenues here. There really is good avenues here. But nothing's given time to breathe or develop or anything like that. And we also see him interact with people who, like, I don't know if they're ever going to come into play. I would like them to. Like, there's one person that he saves that's actively trying to look for the Human Liberation Army, which I would assume they would have at least found at some point. But just where we left off, this feels like it should be like at least like a chapter 50 or 60 thing. Now again, if this manga isn't like super long, that's fine. I'm not tripping about that, right? It's not gonna be a long manga, so I'm not gonna be super angry at the fact that's the case. But I'm just sitting there being like, man, this manga does have like a lot of this manga has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential, and it has a lot of good qualities to it. That's why I'm kind of sitting there just a little baffled by everything. And honestly, the way I explained it, I wish I could go more into detail, but like, honestly, the way I said it is the way that I said it. Like, there's no like super deep breakdown on how the eggs works. Like, they explain it that like you get stronger and you get some Drake arc powers, but like that's about it. There's nothing actually there to really elaborate or explain it or anything like that. It's kind of, I don't want to say disappointing. I feel like disappointing is the wrong word. Disappointing feels like semi kind of mean, but I don't, and it's not that I don't want to be semi kind of mean, but it definitely feels off in a sense to just say this feels mean, because in the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily feel mean to criticize a manga for like something it's doing wrong. Because like, again, I liked it when I didn't like hate going through it, but it's also one of those things where I could just like, the flaws on it are very obvious, and maybe it is like, maybe it ending quick. If it's ending soon-ish, which would be kind of crazy given the fact it's only chapter 14. But I mean, short mangas are not. They're not rare, but they're definitely not as super common. I feel like it is. Well, I don't know. I don't know what even would be considered short in terms of like a manga. I guess maybe it would be 60 70 chapters, 6-7. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? If like, I can see this, ending in another, I don't know, fucking 20 chapters or some shit potentially. Like, it wouldn't be too far off, I feel, to say that this manga would end in another like 20, 30 chapters, especially with the pace on how it's going, because again, it's going really fast. And it's like blowing through all the little details it could have been. Like, I feel like we could have potentially milked 3 years of that. Like, it would have like given us time to watch like people bond with each other, people develop with each other, have Gonron actually go onto missions to like rescue people, to actually explore the world, to make the world fleshed out, so that when he actually goes against that like big bad, you're like prepared for that. And I feel like that's where it should have been, but it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like we got to that point. It didn't feel like we achieved that point. It was just kind of like, sure, I guess, whatever. But I don't know. I'd like to assume that it would fix itself. And I'm not even saying that in a big way. Oh God, I don't want to hate on this manga. I'm trying any way I can to just not hate on this manga. But like, what else am I supposed to? How the fuck else am I supposed to explain myself with this, dude? God, like I'm genuinely trying to like figure out a way to just say that. I'm beating around the bush because like, I don't know. I don't think it's bad, but there are glaring flaws where I think it's gonna hold it back. Like again, I keep saying it. If it's a short manga and they're just trying to get out a story, that's fine, that's fair. But like, again, that 3-year time gap could have been used for training, to explore, do all this stuff. Like, or just kind of focusing on just the main part, which is fine. But I guess the big thing is for me, the big thing for me when it comes to something like this is, how do you expect me to care about something like Gonron and the Egg's journey to try to get back his sister? Oh yeah, that's also a big thing that comes into play, is that his sister is also captured by the king and is like, has this weird ether power that like is very valuable, so she's protected, which I assume that the sister is going to turn bad at some point. That's going to be my wild card pick, is that I feel like the sister is going to be somebody who is like treated so well by the Dracarchs that like her mind is just completely poisoned by the thought of just like, oh, you want me to go back to a life of pain, a life of suffering, when the Dracarchs treat me so well, when the king of the Dracarchs treats me so well. Like, I feel like his sister's gonna be brainwashed in that sense, which that will be a fun little interaction to see. I think it'll be nice to see them butt heads like that, being like, no, sis, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this demon killed our family and did all this stuff, and you want to side with them? And it's like, better than that. Which, you know what? I haven't even put that as a conclusion. This could be a situation where like he's on the right path and he is strong, but like they're just no match for the actual current army, and so they get fucking decimated. So they have to be, okay, hold on, I might have talked myself into something interesting. I would be very interested if it did take that route, because right now, Gonron's path to the way he's going feels a tad bit too easy. You know what I mean? Like, his path to everything feels a little bit too easy and a little bit too just straightforward. I would be interested if like they're building up everything to like show how easy it was and all that stuff, because it could be the fact that like the egg prince is genuinely just that strong enough to give Gonron's powers, and maybe like something happens to the point where like, you know, there's a sister that's involved, and then everything just starts falling. Like, you know what would turn this around for me? I would be very excited, or rather interested, if this manga had like a Berserk Eclipse style thing happen. I think that'd be really fucking fun. I think that would be really, really good. Like, have just the worst fucking shit happen. Like, everybody dies, his sister goes away, Goron's, the egg ends up getting destroyed, and now Gonron has to basically go on this whole adventure all over again just to rebuild that power that he had in the beginning. Just completely fucked. It has like a whole different mentality, a different way. Maybe like the 2 foot soldiers he saw, they end up surviving. Like, there's a few survivors and they go on a whole journey just for like, it just turns into a straight journey for revenge. He keeps eating all the like Dracarch hearts to like, and he starts becoming a Dracarch itself to the point where like he's just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna become king myself. That would be genuinely an interesting path. I would wonder if that would be the path that they're going on. If not, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. But I think that'd be quite interesting. I might have bought myself into something that I can't come back from, and that in itself is really, really fucking bad. But I do like it. I do like what I have built for myself here. It is very interesting. It is a path that I think could work for this manga. It would be a little bit bad because that first volume would be very meh. Well, to be fair, it might work. It might potentially work. There's a good chance that might work. I like that. I like that idea. I really do. God damn. Okay. I think I definitely bought myself into something. Now, will it backfire on me and I might have a bad time? I'm not 100% sure. We will still have to figure it out by that. But like, yeah, that's mostly how I feel. I feel bad because, God, I don't think I have much else to say. I usually have like, I guess an hour, but this manga just feels so much less of substance. Like I can't really talk about any of the side characters because we don't have that much interesting. The only side character that would be worth talking about is the first foot soldier that I wouldn't call him a foot soldier, but the first member of the Human Liberation Army that Gonron sees, which is, he's interesting just because he's the member that ate the 50 Dragon Hearts, and he can like change from like looking like a Dracarch to looking like a human, and that's just kind of based on his emotions. But other than that, we don't learn really much about his companion. We only learn a little bit about like the top people of the generals that like Gonron meets. We don't really know much about the army other than the fact that like it's underground, which that is cool the way that they built it. I like the way that they built the underground area and how it's like a whole proper relation. That feels good. I like the way that looks and that whole type of thing. But yeah, man, like I sit there and I'm just like, there's not much else to really comment on saying. Like, at the very least, being 14 chapters in and not feeling like I have much to say, I feel like it's still kind of bad. Because at the very least, this is 2 volumes worth of content. At the very least, this is 2 volumes worth. I'm not 100% sure how much 1 volume would be. I would have to look that up real quick. Because I always see 1 volumes, and first volumes are usually like maybe like 6 through. Oh my god. Yeah, they're usually like 6 through 9 chapters for the most part. So I might actually have to like, I don't know, at least pick up a big one and see at the very least if it's something worth reading. Hold on, give me a second here, because there's something, because I will have to double check that just to see, because I myself am very curious how that would be. Yeah, so like it's still the like the same for some. I guess it kind of just depends on the actual like what do you call it? I guess it does just depend on the actual story that you're telling and how much that story actually has. This, you know what? Hold on. This would be a better one to check just to make sure, because I would like to know myself what would be like a decent amount of chapters for like a second and third volume. Okay, so yeah, about 10 I think is appropriate. I got you know what, given how much what is it? Given how much we see for these, yeah, 8 to 10. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. 8 to 10. 8 to 10 sounds about right, which I like. That sounds okay. Yes, that sounds about right. So like, this would what? It's at least a volume's worth of stuff, and having your first volume be kind of just, I don't want to say nothing, but have it be so lackluster with content feels kind of bad to me. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like there's not much here, and we're not like far enough to where if I could say that's purposeful or not. I'm still not 100% sure if it's purposeful or not. That's the shitty thing. So I can't even like fully commit to that fact of just like, oh yeah, it's done on purpose. Like it's to set up stuff. So, like, damn, honest to God, man, it sucks to say, but in good conscience, I really don't think I could. In good conscience, I really don't think I can say that this manga is worth reading. Because there's just not much there. I personally like it. I think there's seeds of something good here. Something great? But I think there's at least something potentially good here. But in terms of like something being like super awesome, hype fucking shit, not really. Not really. I would like to think so. I would like to say so. But it feels like not really worth it yet. I would like to revisit it another 10 chapters in. Like, give it a good 10 chapters and then see it, how it progresses. Because if it doesn't progress far enough, I'm going to sit there being fucking like, dude, what the actual fuck? Like, if it is that much of a short story, I'm like, Jesus, you must have just been like, I just want to make something. That feels so shitty to say, but it does feel like you just wanted to make something for the sake of making something, which I guess is fine. But also, like, we can put a little bit more effort into this, man. But also, like, if it comes back and it proves me wrong, oh, buddy boy, I would be very, very happy for this to prove me wrong. Just fucking whoop. I'll be like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, so, final verdict. Do I think Gonron's egg is worth picking up? At the moment, no. If you like to give stuff just a chance in general, I think there are some good seeds in this. I think there's some good potential in this. But if you're looking for something to knock your socks off right out of the gate and something that you can really be dedicated to, I don't think it's it. I don't think this is it right now. I think this is very low on the rung right now. I'd like to believe in it. I want to believe in it. But as of right now, it's shown me nothing for me to commit to wanting to do it. And the only reason, like, I am not going to be reading this week to week. It'll probably be something I check up on at the end of the year, right? Maybe just to give it some time. I don't know how frequent chapters are coming out, but it will definitely be something that I go ahead and I check out at the end of the year just to see how it does, because that's kind of where I am. That's kind of how I'm feeling with it, honestly. It sucks to say, but that is fucking the case right now. But yeah, that is at least it. But that is at least it for the manga portion of this. So, to those watching on the YouTubes and listening on the podcast, thank you for all joining the listening to the podcast on YouTube and Spotify and all that. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff. It's good. It's awesome. If you want to keep going on to that, please do. And also, thank you to Infinity Cast. They're the reason why we put on this podcast. They are a great fucking little company to work with. Everyone there is chill. Go ahead and subscribe to them on the YouTube or check out the website. Everything that you're going to want to check out is going to be in the link in the description. We will see you next week. We will be back next week. I promise you, we will be back next week. I will try to be as consistent, and I'm reading manga steadily as I can. So, with that being said, thank you all for joining me. I apologize for the short one. I will talk about something longer. I promise. But with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.